There's nobody I would like to see out of office more than Emperor Jay Inslee. As such, I have made a formal invitation for anybody who decides to run against the Emperor to come on this show and announce their candidacy, and we will talk about them as much as is humanly possible to get anybody else with a pulse into that office. Now, as much as I joke about this kind of stuff, we really do want a good candidate. We really don't want to happen what happened last time where we had like 30,000 candidates running for office, so I'm going to vet them for you. And the first one out of the gate is a gentleman named Semibird who is running for governor and announced it this week. And he joins us now on the Genuine Auto Glass studio line. Welcome to the show, sir.
It's nice to be here, Ari. Thank you for the invitation.
My pleasure. So you were working on the Richland School Board. You were dealing with that. And then why'd you decide to go for governor?
Well, a lot of that started with what I was seeing with the Richland School Board, but it's also, as you alluded to, what we're seeing within our state and arguably across our nation. We have wokeism that is permeated through all systems of our education system, of our government, of our corporations. And it's time for someone with the right knowledge, skills, and abilities, the right background to step up. And as you would allude to dethrone, if you will. And something about me, I'm not part of the political aristocracy. I'm not a career politician. I think it's time to replace career politicians with career Americans. That's what this nation, this constitutional republic was founded on. So, yes, right time, right place. I'm seeing what we're seeing. I think God puts us at the right time and the right place when he wants us there. And I think my background, my knowledge, my skills, my abilities is just what this state needs at this time.
So your skills and your abilities, you definitely have a resume, but wouldn't it be better suited for something like, Chris Rakedahl's job? Because you served on the school board and then, to go to Office of Public Instruction and then you go to governor, something like that. Why the big leap or the specific targeting of the governor's office?
Well, I would say arguably you need a leader. You need someone who is a trained leader. I've written leadership methodology. I've been teaching my leadership methodology for a number of years. I do executive coaching. I teach leadership courses. I've been in leadership most of my adult life. I've worked as a federal director, training and leadership development, organizational development, acting chief of staff. I've worked as a senior leader in military intelligence and special forces. I can go on. I was a senior advisor to the U.S. ambassador of Bangladesh. And so leadership is what's needed in Olympia right now. And whether it's going to be in Chris Rakedahl's seat or Jay Inslee's seat, what I would assert is this. If you want action, solutions with action, the way to implement is not from that next level down, is to implement from the top. And what we're missing is we continue to do it. We put career politicians with zero leadership experience, zero background in actually running an organization, because that's what the governor does. He is the chief executive, according to the state constitution, of the state offices. And so we need leadership. We need someone who can come in, just like I do for my clients. I'm a behavioral scientist, to come in to look at gaps and to fill those gaps with solutions that are effective.
We're talking with Semibird, who has announced his candidacy for Washington State governor, so hopefully we can get rid of Jay Inslee and not have a fourth term of this guy. Well, who knows? He might actually run for president yet again. Now, I'm going to ask you this question because I'll be nicer about it than the left will. You're currently facing a recall, but it seems like it's for COVID shenanigans that Governor Jay Inslee was imposing. What can you tell us about that?
Well, that's exactly it. I never acknowledged that the mask mandate or vaccine mandates were constitutional. Article 1, Section 1, right? The power resides in the people, and governments derive their power from the governed. And one of the prime functions of the government is to protect and maintain the individual rights of its citizens. And so imposing a vaccine, telling someone you have to stick something in your body, if that doesn't compromise a person's constitutional rights, I don't know what does. And so what did I do? I did several things as the school board director, but yes, I took a stand. I did what I needed to do to ensure that I had at least one board member, just finding out what she needs. I knew what the other board member was going to do because she had already announced it. And so I went to that one board member. I said, what do you need from me to make this happen? Because our kids are dying, lost learning, mental health issues. We need to stop this now and bring equity, using a word from the progressive or regressive left, bringing equity to say, yeah, we're doing everything that people who want to wear masks are doing, but we're not doing anything for the people who want choice, who want to help their children. And so I push forward that. And when it comes to the recall, and you look at the people behind the recall, I take pride in standing up, stepping forward with intestinal fortitude and personal courage to do the right and righteous thing, to protect our students. And this is something that you don't get in legislature. This is something you don't get with OSPI experiences. I've served as a Special Forces Green Beret. I've served as a Special Forces intelligence leader. I know what I know, and that's what I'm going to bring, intestinal fortitude. This is what we need from our elected officials, and we need them to understand they serve the people, for goodness sake. And I've done several other things in the school board.
Either you did a lot of prep work for this interview, knowing my history with Governor Jay Inslee, or you're the genuine article. We're talking with semibird, who has declared his candidacy for governor to run against Jay Inslee, hopefully unseat Jay Inslee, who hasn't announced whether or not he's going to be seeking a fourth term, but we really hope that that is not the case. So there's quite a French laundry list of things that need to be fixed. So the question is, where do you start looking at all this?
Great question. And picking up on your last words, one of the first things I'm going to do, as under Article 3 of the Washington State Constitution, I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to petition to our legislature that they work to impose term limits on my office. Coming from the elected governor, I'm telling them you need to impose term limits. Just like if I was the governor and they brought forth emergency powers with no get-out-of-jail-free card, giving up the people's power to a governor with no end date, I would have sent it back them. This is wrong. Remember who you work for. And so there's that. Term limits right off the bat for the office I'll hold. The other thing is education. Accountability in education. In Washington State, when it comes to English and language arts, 50.7% of students in this state, when you average out all school districts, are meeting grade level standards. 50.7%. That's darn near failing. When it comes to math, 37.7% of students are meeting grade level standards. And when it comes to science, 42.7% of all students. And this is 21-22, if I'm not mistaken. I pulled off the road, so I don't have anything in front of me. But no, that is one thing. Accountability in our school system. We should be putting forth a comprehensive tutoring program for every school district in the state. Taking that time. If you want to know what equity is, it's not lowering the standard. Equity is meeting that child where that child is. Whether they're special needs or whether they're suffering from learning disability, we meet that child where that child is, give them what they need so they can rise up to the standard. So that's just one thing. And I could talk about public safety, the homeless issue, our economy. There is so much that I'm passionate about. We need transformational change, Ari, in the state. And one of the things that we're doing as a campaign, out of the gate, we are saying this. I'm a constitutional Christian conservative. I don't waver on my beliefs. My moral compass is straight and it's calibrated. But if you don't believe what I don't believe in, that is okay. Let's come to the center and let's talk about things we can agree on. Safe streets, better education, and economic growth and opportunity for all Washingtonians. This is something that I have not heard these experienced politicians bring to the table. It's usually name-calling, going after, chastising the other side. So it becomes an us against them, and nothing gets done. I want to be the governor in Washington state history that actually gets to that middle and brings forth solutions with actions to enrich and support and create safety for all Washingtonians.
You're making too much sense. I'm not sure you're cut out for government work. Semibird.
That's what we're missing, brother. Common sense.
Semibird, if people want to support your campaign, learn more about you, donate to your campaign, volunteer for your campaign, what's the best way for them to do so? birdforgovernor.com. Bird, B-I-R-D, for governor.com. And I would appreciate it. And I would just say, Ari, God bless you. God bless all of those patriots, all of those citizens that are waiting, that are looking for hope. We are going to bring hope. We're going to bring transformational change. We're going to get the job done. We're bringing forth a good American, not a good politician. Remembering who I work for, the people of the state of Washington. Semibird, candidate for Washington State Governor. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for being in the fight, and thank you very much for your service as well. We do appreciate it.
Absolutely. God bless you, brother, and I appreciate everything you do on a daily basis.
Thank you so much. God bless you as well. Thank you for the kind words. We got a whole lot more to discuss as the show continues. You're listening to the Ari Hoffman Show on Talk Radio 570 KVI.